did that start to happen, that you had thoughts about maybe doing something else, or about thinking about, really what would make you happy?
And so I think that going to university for the first time, being away from all of that, was so jarring that I was like, wait, nobody is assuming that I'm going to med school anymore. Like, nobody's making those assumptions of me when they first meet me. So maybe that's not what defines me. And I think that I defined myself with that in mind my entire childhood, because I thought that I needed to have my career sorted for the next 5, 10, 20 years. And then I went to university and people started talking about different things. I met people who were in business who were like, I want to work in fashion. And I met people who were interested in working in sport business. And I started learning about all these other career paths. And it was like, whoa, there's not just 4 things that I can do with my life. There's a million. And there's jobs that wouldn't have even existed, and I could just randomly find them one day, and so I think it was just this idea that I didn't have to be defined by the career that I thought I was going to have in 20 years. And that was a major point for me. And then I truthfully also didn't love school. I realized that I only liked school in high school because of the constant validation that I would get with high grades and awards that I could get. But that didn't mean that I really enjoyed everything that I was learning, or that I was doing, or the way that I was learning it. A lot of that was extrinsic motivation. And so I was trying for the first time to find my intrinsic motivation. What is something that, even if I didn't win a ton of awards for, even if nobody validated me with a 98% average or whatever, I would still love to do every single day. And so I started thinking back to my life about, little things that brought me joy that had nothing to do with my career. And I think that was the first time that I started on this different career path, or thinking about something else. Was, what if I didn't define myself as a doctor? What if I didn't do everything that would get me into med school, but I only did things that brought me joy? And so it started with very, very simple things. I was like, what brings me joy? And sports had always brought me joy as I was growing up. I played basketball and volleyball at the club, and very high performance. I still coach basketball today. It's a really big part of my life. And so I was like, that brings me joy. And it has nothing to do with medicine, but what if I joined this club called Sport Business Club? And I started working on partnerships with the Raptors, and I started connecting with people at MLSE, and started connecting with different athletes and building out these conferences. It has nothing to do with what I think I'm still going to do in the future, but what if? And so I started just joining clubs that I thought would bring me joy. And I started connecting with other people and reaching out to startup founders on LinkedIn to learn about their stories and how I could help them. And just reached out to a bunch of people that I just thought were cool. Just cool people that had nothing to do with medicine. And slowly but surely, I just kind of integrated myself into this world of business and entrepreneurship.